seeing as though you're upperclassmen, you've had some experience with the pen tool, so this is more of a refresher for you than an introduction. With the pen tool in Gravit, it behaves almost identical to the pen tool in Adobe Illustrator. So the good news is you're not learning a new tool. The bad news is it's not as good in Illustrator, in my opinion. But let's practice. So the first thing you're going to do is access your document. You'll see that it opens up a check for understanding. Now we know to draw well, we zoom in order to get the edges of things. And we also know to draw paths, we click and drag, right? We're using the pen tool, we're clicking and dragging to place down a handle, clicking and dragging again, and pulling to kind of control the Bezier curve. Now when we have something like this, there's two things we can do. We can kind of clip this curve, and the way you do that, you can hold down Alt and go to the last anchor point. Now in Adobe Illustrator, we were able to move this handle by holding Alt. That's not an option here, and that's why I say it's not as good. But you can still clip the curve to change the direction, because I no longer want to draw up, I want to draw back down. So I'm going to hold down Alt, click over my last handle. You see that little upside down V? That'll let me know that I'm changing the handle, or I'm actually removing the handle. And then I'm making sure I close my path and getting that little circle next to my mouse. Now I have control over this handle. Now, if I don't love this, you know that just like in Illustrator, we can use the sub-select to kind of manipulate our handles afterwards and get a little bit more control of what we're creating. Okay, and same thing with filling a shape versus open versus closed. You know you want to close your shape to fill it with color. So for your check for understanding, we want you to create 2 out of the 3 of these images. You can choose any of the 2 you'd like. When you're done with 2 of them, you're going to go to File, Export. Make sure it's a JPEG. Now what you're going to do next is go to your shared Google Slides, which you know about already. You're going to find your name and you're going to open up your slide. Please put your name in first. Drag your picture that you took to show us your progress. This will let us know how far ahead you are, how comfortable you are with the tool, as it's been a while since we've used it. Now the second part of your check for understanding is just a reminder of how important it is, the location of your anchor points. So these little circles will represent your anchor points, and your job is to just drag them where you think they belong in this line that we provided here. So we know that an anchor point always starts off our line, so that's a giveaway, that starts, and we know that one ends, but where the rest of these anchor points kind of belong on this line. When you're done with this slide, Mr. Tron or myself will let you know you got the go-ahead. What you're going to do next is go back to Gravit. Now something we've done a little different today is if we've used pages. So if you'll see on here on the side, you have another page, and this page is your main activity for the day, and it's where you're going to spend a chunk of your time. Now the main activity requests that you do at least 5 of the images or the vectors provided down here, and you're going to basically lay them out in a space-themed scene right in this space. Now we want you to consider color as well, so when you make these shapes, try to steal the color from the original and think about the shapes that make this up. Some things don't require the pen tool. For example, like a planet is probably fine making an ellipse and then adding those kind of elements. You guys are masters in the pen tool by now, so we know that you can come up with some really great things. If you finish early, feel free to add to the scene and really make it your own. When you're done, you're going to submit this as a JPEG. Good luck.